we're up in Cairns at the moment filming some travel stories for the living room, which follows on from a trip we had about a month ago for Bondi Vet around here. So it's very quickly becoming Cairns Vet rather than Bondi Vet. I guess, like any community, I'm sure that around here there are issues with barking dogs or dogs that are straying. And look, it all comes down to trying to make the dog as happy as they possibly can be, because generally that barking or that wandering is a sign that they're not entirely content with their life as it is. So it's all about making their life more interesting, trying to give them a bit more exercise in the mornings if you are going off to work, and then providing some sort of stimulation for them during the day so they're not prone to boredom, because usually when they're bored, that's when they bark or that's when they look to escape. So I usually recommend trying to either leave the radio on at home or even making up a little ice block with some Vegemite and some water, freezing it and then putting it out into the yard so they can actually play with that and have a chew on that. Or even borrow a neighbour's dog that's also suffering from the same problem and actually almost do your own little daycare situation where you have two dogs sharing the same backyard, and that way they've got each other to rely on and each other for company. It's not just the animals that benefit from a happy life, because really there are flow-on effects to people as well. Obviously you're not going to be so tense with your neighbours if your dog isn't barking, but usually the great thing about getting a dog stimulated and getting them out and about is that you actually become healthier and happier yourself through the exercise that you actually have to give them. And research has found that pets can actually be the most effective personal trainers out of anything, human or otherwise. So that's a really important thing to remember, that if you make your pets happy, usually you're happier yourself. I know that desexing sometimes freaks people out and they feel like their dogs aren't going to be as masculine or aren't going to be the same personality if it is done, but the way I see it is it really just changes their priorities from being the neighbourhood loving or fighting machine to being more of a family pet. And I think that's never a bad thing. It kind of calms them down a little bit without them ever losing their natural personality.